Ever feel like you're on like a super important mission,
Yeah.
even if nobody else really gets it?
Oh, yeah.
Well, today we're diving deep into a story about a creature who took that idea, that urgent mission idea, to a whole other level.
Hmm.
We're talking ducks highways and like
Yeah.
the most determined waddle you ever heard of.
Okay. I'm
Yeah.
intrigued.
So one of our listeners sent in this seriously bizarre encounter, and I got to say it stuck with me.
Yeah.
Picture this, right? Rural Pennsylvania, you, the listener, your husband and friend are just chilling on the side of the road trying to figure out directions.
Okay. Pretty standard so far.
Totally. Then out of nowhere, this duck appears.
A duck just like pops up.
Yeah, like materializes from thin air.
That's a pretty specific detail to include, right? Like, why mention the duck appearing out of nowhere?
Exactly, and that's what makes this whole thing so strange.
Okay, you got my attention. I want to hear more about this duck.
So it's not just like wandering around, this duck is on a mission.
Uh-huh.
The listener even mentions it crossing a busy highway.
Hold on. Crossing a highway. Like with cars and everything.
Yeah, dodging cars like a pro.
Wow.
And get this, the listener specifically says it looked both ways before crossing.
Like it was following traffic laws.
Seriously. I mean, what duck does that?
That's wild. Okay, so we've got this like law-abiding duck on a mission crossing a highway.
Right. And it's heading straight for the listener's husband.
Okay, this is where it gets good.
It waddles right up to him, stops, and pecks him on the shoe.
Pecks him on the shoe. Did it like attack him?
No, not at all. Just a single peck.
Just one.
One deliberate peck. Like tap, tap. That's it.
That's really strange. Like it wasn't trying to hurt him.
Exactly. More like it was trying to get his attention or something.
That's a good point. Most ducks, if they're aggressive, they'd go for more than a single pack.
Totally. Right? There'd be some flapping, some squawking, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, this was targeted almost like like a tap on the shoulder. Hey, you.
And then, are you ready for this? The duck just walks away.
Just like that.
Back across the highway. Gone like it had somewhere very important to be.
I gotta say, this is one of the weirder duck stories I've heard.
Right. So what's the deal with this duck? What's going on in his little duck brain?
Well, one possibility is mistaken identity, right? Maybe your husband's shoe reminded the duck of something else?
Like food
Yeah.
or a predator?
Yeah, exactly.
I
Something it either wanted to eat or avoid.
So it was just confused.
Maybe. Although that single peck is still pretty strange.
Yeah, and then there's the whole crossing the highway thing.
Right. Like, it seemed to know exactly where it was going.
I was thinking, could it be some kind of territorial thing?
Oh, you mean like, this is my turf? Get out of here.
Exactly. But then why just one peck and then leave?
Good point. That doesn't really fit with the whole territorial defense thing we see with most ducks.
Right. They're usually a bit more, assertive.
Totally. There's actually been research on crows that shows they can recognize human faces. Yeah, and even hold grudges. So while it's less documented in ducks, it's not impossible that this duck had some kind of prior interaction with her husband.
Or someone wearing similar shoes.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
was reacting based on that past experience.
Whoa. So this duck could have a whole backstory we know nothing about.
It's definitely possible. I mean, think about it. We see these animals all the time, but we rarely stop to consider what their lives are like.
Yeah, we kind of just assume they're just reacting to their environment.
But the reality is they probably have much richer inner lives than we realize.
With their own motivations and, experiences that shape how they interact with the world.
Exactly. This duck could have been on its way to meet its mate, or, warn its flock about a predator. We just don't know.
I gotta say, this whole thing is blowing my mind.
It's a good reminder that there's so much we don't know about the world around us.
Especially when it comes to animal consciousness. I mean, who knows what was going through that duck's mind?
Exactly. It's a mystery, but it's a really intriguing one.
And it makes me wonder about all the other seemingly simple animal behaviors we see every day.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what if that squirrel burying a nut is actually like plotting some elaborate scheme?
Or that bird singing outside your window is actually sending coded messages to its buddies.
Right. It's like a whole secret world happening right under our noses.
Exactly. It just goes to show that even in the most ordinary moments, there can be these little pockets of the unexplained.
Totally. And it makes me want to pay more attention to the creatures around us,
Yeah.
See if I can catch a glimpse of what they're really up to.
Well, after this deep dive, I know I'll never look at a duck the same way again.
Me neither. Who knows what kind of urgent errands they're running on?
And what mysteries they hold.
Exactly.
Thanks for listening.
And keep those stories coming, folks.
You never know what deep dive we might take next.
See ya.
Bye.